and I'm here to interview director Alexandre in celebration of the movie Crawl that is already available on digital and will be available on Blu-ray and DVD starting October 15th. Hello, how do you, Alex?
I'm very good. Yeah,
Congratulations on the movie.
thank you very much.
Now, I'm a huge fan of Crawl, my goodness. And I'm a huge fan of yours, The Hills Have Eyes, Mirrors, Piranha, which I was going to say, Crawl was not your first foray into the creature movie. You gave us Piranha. So, what is it about man versus beast that made you want to come back to exploring that again?
It was really not the intention because Piranha is such a different movie in a way that it's Piranha was a fun guilty pleasure or comedy with like kind of a crazy extravaganza, blood-faced, But I wanted to, in fact, find like a way, an opportunity to go back to something scary, something that was way more straightforward, something that was way more suspenseful. And I was reading a lot of script, and it just happened that I fell in love with this one for obvious reason, like the simplicity of that story, like this young woman who has to go save her dad during a hurricane category 5 in a flooded area infested with alligators. What else? I mean, it was just the perfect element, like the recipe to create suspense and somehow to kind of mix together what I did with Piranha, but also with High Tension and The Hills of Eyes all together.
Now, Kaya and Barry are two of my favorite stars. You put them swimming in dirty waters, you put them standing on a roof, you put them stepping on rusty objects. How game were they for this stuff? Or were there moments where you're like, guys, I know you guys are stoked about this next scene, but I think we'll let the stunts handle this one?
I tried as much as I can. I mean, the script was pretty obvious that it's going to be very, very hard. But I kind of underlined, I remember talking to Kaya and saying, you realize how difficult it's going to be. You realize that being in the water 10 hours a day for 40 days, you pretty much on screen all the time. Are you going to be able? And she, yeah, I want to show my son how badass I am. And then I have to say that both of them were spectacular because, we, in the story, the protagonists have to kind of survive during a day. Like Kaya and Barry, they had to survive for 40 days in the water. I was every day, and that's not like, yes, we didn't have alligators on set, but we had, the water, the rain, the wind, the dirty water, all that stuff that was real. So I think somehow it helped them to get into that surviving mood, but it was a tough one. I was with them in the water, so I can tell you it was a difficult one.
You're the good captain. Now, alligators, they look fantastic. Can you talk a bit about how many rough drafts do you go through before you decide, you know what, let's go with that look for the alligators?
So we, I spend a lot of time on the script first, and then, on the side of writing the script to be sure that the movie will be as real as we can. And not as like a creature movie where the alligators has an agenda or the alligators is like oversized or radioactive or any kind of thing like that. Because I think they are like just spectacular the way they are. And I look hundreds of hours of, like footage, documentary, YouTube videos about their behaving, selecting all the best clip possible. I read everything I could find about them. I remember going to the Natural History Museum here in New York and see that beautiful Mississippi alligator specimen that you have. That's like really, really big and strong and muscle. I remember this one also that's still alive. His name is Godzilla and is living in Miami in a shelter. And, like a very strong one. And I gave all those elements to rodeo effect. And together, we create the asset. But you're right, we spend a lot of time, finding the right proportion for the tail, the right proportion for the muscle, the right head, just to make them scary enough without making them just like too, alligators can be not scary. They can be just like laying down and resting and sunbathing and not doing anything. But when they are scary, they are scary.
Wow, and you did a great job. Sir, so what can we expect from the bonus features in this upcoming Blu-ray? Any deleted scenes, anything you want to tease us?
So yeah, there is a few things that are really cool. We have two scenes or three scenes, but like two important ones who give like a better, you know, explanation or go more in depth into the character story. Then we have this very cool thing. It's like the only thing we didn't shot is an opening scene that we had for in the script for a long time. It has nothing to do with the character. It was like more like a prologue of some sort. And so what we did is we did a graphic novel version of that scene, animated. And so it's a tease of how the, you know, like the movie could have opened with a different alligator big moment. And then to finish, I think that's the most important for me, is when you watch the movie, hopefully you feel that the alligators are real, you feel that you're really in the middle of a hurricane. We work really hard for that. But when you look at the behind the scene, you will realize, oh, in fact, we were just in blue screen city with rain and water and no alligators, and how insane that shoot was. So the behind the scene is a very extended behind the scene that goes, I think, quite in depth into the technical aspect of making aCRAWL. So it's an interesting one.
My final question is, will there be Crawl 2? And are you coming back to another creature movie again after this?
I'm sure we'll go back to a creature movie. They are like, we're living in a time where man versus nature is going to be more and more, you know, like everyday life. I feel that somehow we built our society to be safe, and but then because of all the fucked up and all the that kind of climate change and everything, like nature is coming back and coming back beating up our ass. So it's I'm sure there is other crazy creature that we can explore. It's a fun thing to do those movies because somehow it talks to our deep psyche. I believe that we carry that kind of DNA fear of when we were in cave and just, you know, fighting a huge creature every day. And I think this stay with us, and that's why we have so much fun watching those movies. So yes, I will be back with another one.
Nature is coming back with a vengeance. All right, sir. Well, Crawl available on Blu-ray October 15th. Thank you so much. Congratulations.